Hello, my name is Amy Todd with Amy's Creative Wishes, and today I'm going to be making this beautiful Thinking of You card. I don't know if you saw, but I put a post asking what you would like to see. Would you like to see another Christmas card, a winter birthday card, or a Thinking of You card? And the majority stated Thinking of You card, so this is what I came up with. It's using the Very Versailles Stamp Set. And as I mentioned, I'm an Independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I sell all the products I use in these videos. So if you have any questions in regards to that, please feel free to contact me either through Facebook, or if you're watching on YouTube, just comment on the YouTube link, or you can email me at amyscreativewishes@gmail.com. Okay, enough chatting. Let's get started. It's very simple to make this card. So, I'll just set the card up there. And what I'm starting with is a Mossy Meadow card base. This measures 5.5 by 8.5. I've scored it down the middle at 4 1/4. So let's just fold that and crease it with our bone folder so it lies nice and flat. I have a piece of pear pizzazz. This measures 3 3/4 by 5. And then I have 2 pieces of Very Vanilla, and these measure 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. One's for the outside, and one is for the inside of the card. And then it's just basically some stamping. It's again using the Very Versailles Stamp Set, and we're using almost every stamp in this set. So we'll grab out the scripty stamp, the leaf stamp, this frame that's almost like a Baroque frame, this one, and then the Always Thinking of You. So as I said, we're using just about every stamp in this stamp set. Oh, and I'm going to need another scrap piece of Very Vanilla for the sentiment. I'm going to have to use both sides of this block. Okay. And the colors we are using are Pear Pizzazz, Mossy Meadow, and I used Blushing Bride on this one, but I think I'm going to change it up, and I think I'm going to try Rococo Rose. That's the color I meant to use, and then I forgot. So we're going to try Rococo Rose today and see how that turns out. So first, we're going to start with the Rococo Rose because it's going to be the script in the background, but I'm going to stamp off. So I'm going to do what's called second generation stamping. So we're just going to move everything out of the way except for the Very Vanilla piece. And with the Rococo Rose ink, I'm going to ink up the scripty stamp and take the stamp off twice. And up in the right hand corner, ink it up again, stamp off twice, and then the bottom left corner. There. Oh, no, I will be needing that again. But that's later. Let's do the leaves next, which is in the Pear Pizzazz. And it's coming down from the left corner, top corner. And then coming up just a little bit from the bottom right. Get up some more. And then just coming up the right-hand side. There. And you know what? Let's do a little bit more just down on the bottom left. There we go. Okay. So we're done with the Pear Pizzazz. Next, we're going to use the Mossy Meadow. Actually, we're not done with the Pear Pizzazz. We'll be doing the Sentiment and Pear Pizzazz, but get it out of the way before I stick my hands. I need to re-ink my Mossy Meadow, so bear with me while I get this inked up. And then this stamp is just going to go once across the top. It really needs to be re-inked. And then across the bottom. Okay. Now we're done with the Mossy Meadow. But as you can see, I have a punch out here. This Mossy Meadow with the pink on it is from the Tailored Tag Punch. And it's from the Pear Pizzazz. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Pear Pizzazz layer that I will be attaching to the card, and I'm going to punch the Tailored Tag out of the middle of it. You'll never see that I did that. No one will ever know. Well, except for you that are watching. So, take that, put that aside. And now we're going to use this sort of frame Baroque stamp set, or a stamp. And we're going to ink it up. I'm inking it up in Rococo Rose. And we're just going to stamp it sort of towards the bottom. Not quite the middle, it's slightly to the right. There, isn't that pretty? And then we're going to ink it up again. And we're going to stamp it on the Tailored Tag. It doesn't all fit, obviously, but it'll just give it some interest. Right? And then it'll get layered like that. Just gives it a little bit of interest. And now I need, from my scraps, bear with me. I forgot to grab this already. I need a 1/2 inch strip. Here we go. This is, I believe, a 1/2 inch strip, or close to, for the Sentiment. And we're going to stamp the Sentiment and Pear Pizzazz. And again, the Sentiment says, always thinking of you. And in these times, this is a perfect card to be sending out right now. Especially with Christmas around the corner and us not being able to get together with our loved ones over Christmas. At least that's what the law is here in Alberta. So just do your best to stamp that in the middle. Perfect. And then I'm going to take the Banners Pick-a-Punch, and you can see it has 2 different banner ends and 3 different sizes for each, so you get 6 banners out of 1 punch. You can fit 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch in here. And this is the 1/2 inch. So, you know what? I'm going to trim it down a bit from both ends because I don't need all of that. And it's not going to punch enough. So there's one end. And see, I'm just feeding it in the 1/2 inch and punching. And there we go. We have a beautiful banner. And now all it is just adhering everything together. So there's no ribbon on this card. It's just very simple. I wanted to make it simple so that it could go to a man or a woman. I realize there's pink on it, but if you want to make a more masculine version of this, you could just change the color. From pink, do a blue, or not another green. I mean, it's got enough greens on it already, but do a blue like Pacific Point. Pacific Point would make it really nice. Or even a dark purple like Rich Raspberry or Blackberry Bliss. All of those would be fine. And I'm using my snail. I'm still waiting on my order to come in, which should be in today, I believe, but there has been some hold up with the orders coming in on time, so we'll see. So this just gives it a very thin border, and see, you can't even see where I punched out, so no one will ever know. And then this layer is going to get popped up on dimensionals, and I've shown you dimensionals before. They're just little hexagons. And they have backings on them to protect them. And there, I just finished a sheet of dimensionals. And I always make sure I use the outsides of the dimensionals too, but I did that on another project, so I'm sure at some point I'll get to show you that in the future. But, okay, so here we go. Make sure we have it the right way. I mean, you can't read the writing, but you can tell if it's upside down or not. So there we go. And then this was also popped up on dimensionals. So let me get a new one out. This really only needs like 2 dimensionals. And then line this up as best you can with the other one that's stamped below. There we go. And then I forgot on the Thinking of You, let's just so it's not quite so stark. I'm inking up that frame again, stamping it off twice, and then stamping on there, making it like 3rd generation stamping, and that's good enough. And now this needs just regular snail in the center. I'm going to put a dimensional on each end of this tailored tag punch because the sentiment will reach across. And it just gets put down like that. And there we go. That's the outside of our card. Now let's do the inside. And the inside, I'm going to take my pair of pizzazz again. And the leaves, I'm going to ink them up again. And this time I'm going to do 2nd generation stamping, which means stamping off. And I'm just going to have it come down the top left corner. See? Just like that. And you can still write. If you have a black pen, you can write over top. If you don't want to write over top, you've still got all of this to write your message or your note for the lovely recipient. And then this just gets attached using snail, or if you have our new Stampin' Seal, which I'm hoping I'm going to be getting very soon here. And that just gets adhered to the inside. And there we go. We have our card. And here's the first one. So there's not a huge difference between the Blushing Bride and the Rococo Rose. The Rococo Rose is a little darker, but there's not a huge difference really. I like both. Let me know in the comments if you have a preference over the Blushing Bride or the Rococo Rose. And thank you so much for watching today. Again, my name is Amy Todd with Amy's Creative Wishes. If you would like to purchase anything that I used in today's video, whether it be the blocks or the Very Versailles Stamp Set, or any inks that I used, Pear Pizzazz, Rococo Rose, and Mossy Meadow, or the Blushing Bride for the other card. If you'd like to purchase any of those, please contact me at amyscreativewishes@gmail.com, or you can shop directly at amyscreativewishes.stampinup.net. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have yourself a wonderful and blessed day.